Sarah.
Hello.
And welcome to Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah and Matthew Slosier, depending on where you're at and how you're stacked. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. You're going to see me be strangely like making sure there's not boogers or something in my nose. I'm so paranoid because I'm on cough syrup to try and help clear the way. So yeah. And anytime I'm on cough syrup to just try and, I don't, does anyone else feel that way? Cough syrup just kind of makes you a little extra wonky and weird. And I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so there's that. How's your week been, Matt?
It's been okay. I'm sick of. We've had more winter weather here this winter than I think I've had in like 10 years here, and so I can't complain because I live in a mild part of the world, but it still sucks. I'm tired of it.
Right.
I'm ready for things to be alive and growing again and warm.
I love to go mushroom hunting in the spring, but I don't like ticks. So I'm also not looking forward to that part of the season. There's that time where it's tornado season right before ticks, but right after snow. It's a very short period. That's my favorite time. And so I know that it's right ahead. I don't know when it's going to be, though. We're supposed to have record cold.
North Carolina is a really buggy state, so I should actually like the fact that, and mosquitoes love me, so I should like the fact that I can actually go outside and not get eaten.
And you got those Bill Gates mosquitoes over on your side of the coast, don't you?
Well, I don't mind. It's weird. I don't mind. I don't like cold, but I don't mind cold. I hate snow and ice because it just adds. I told you before, I'm like all wired for efficiency, so it just adds steps, and that pisses me off. Like if I have to go out, well, even like scraping the car, something. But if I have to go out and shovel, or I have to scrape the car, or if I have to put on gloves, or any extra step,
car too cold to start.
Yeah,
that's been my favorite one lately.
I mean, I used to travel to International Falls a lot. Like, forget the whole idea of like having to actually like plug in your car.
No.
So like your oil doesn't freeze. Like, yeah, like I don't know if it doesn't freeze, but it gets too thick to like go through the engine and
Right. Stupid cold. Where people are asking if you've plugged your darn car in. Anyway, we're getting through it together. We've survived, and it's been a Mercury retrograde. Guys, if you join us every week, if you've been keeping a little astrological journal, man, that was the syllabus on the wrong thing there. Our predictions have been freaky deaky.
You got to go back and watch our predictions for 2022 because
and Matt cut up some
videos.
Volcanoes.
I was going to say, this is going to be a year you're going to hear about volcanoes, and then
UFOs,
boom, we had one
tsunamis. Crazy. I mean, it's been one of those. I think it's important. Shine, Dolly, Bo, Dee, Steph, all of you guys, take an opportunity as you go through these thoughts with us tonight. We're just going through the next 7 days. We are going to be mentioning predictions. We're going to be kind of telling you how to use that because we've been getting a lot of feedback in that way. And so it's like, how do you use it? How does that make sense? How are you doing that? We're going to kind of give you a little bit more insight, dig a little deeper as we try to do here on Astrology and Alchemy. Dee says, my kids were packed and ready to leave early morning. Came out to find the U-Haul has been stolen with everything they own in it. Ah! We're going to have to do some magic for you. We are going to have to do some magic for you. And I will say in my own personal life experience, Craigslist, I had stuff stolen out of my car once in college when I lived in Columbia. I was so pissed. In the middle of the night, I went looking on Craigslist, and they were dumb enough to have taken a picture of a golf club, a Big Bertha. It was big enough I could see the reflection of the person in it. And then I messaged them, and I was like, I see you, and I know who you are. And I threatened them a little bit, just enough that they told me who they were. And then I met up with them and got all my stuff back.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, yeah, it was really weird. I doubt that would even happen ever again. But it's always worth a shot. That's horrible, Dee. But it's Mercury retro. That's a Mercury retrograde crap thing right there. Dang. Have you been having Mercury retrograde, Matt?
It's weird in that I don't know if I would necessarily call it Mercury retrograde. I guess it is kind of indirectly. It's like not miscommunication. It's like lack of communication. Like I'm having a hard time getting like answers from people, like in the workspace and stuff. It's just like you're hearing from people like a day or two later than you normally would expect, and that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, I guess it's kind of retrograde stuff, but
I'm sorry. I'm seeing a UFO. I'm sorry. Brandon,
say something.
what is in the window right now? Right here. I'm sorry. I wish I could turn my computer. What is that?
You saw it here first on Astrology and Alchemy, First Contact edition,
Is it? What is that?
Northern Minnesota.
It's a UFO because it's unidentified. But did you think it was an alien? What is it? It's a military thing, though, isn't it? We live right near a military base, and that moved like nothing I've ever seen. It was very slow, like a helicopter, but faster than a helicopter, but very low to our tree line. And it really scared me. This is what me scared on cough syrup, questioning my reality looks like. We're also in strange political times, and
we're getting ready to start bombing Russia. So.
Man, dang it. I should never have taken the cough syrup. I'm never
I'll add
prepared now.
And I forget if this is where, but I was on a call with Sarah before where and it was during the daytime, and she was on, I guess, the third floor, and the window behind her, I saw like a shadow of like somebody like peeking in the window, and then I'm like, somebody's looking in your window, and she's like, it can't be. We're on the third floor, and so yeah, so I mean, this isn't the first time we've had weird stuff.
Weird.
On a call, yeah. And I had no idea. I had no idea you're loud. I just thought I see the shadow like at the window. I'm like, yeah, somebody's peeking in your window.
I'm just, I know Strieber and bless his soul, Dr. Leo Sprinkle died this year. He was one of my mentors, and we did UFO research together in the 90s. And some of those things scare me. And as a hypnotherapist, I have done some of those regressions where people are talking in different languages, and man, being snatched up in the middle of the night and probed in my ass by some alien creature, I have zero interest. It's a control thing. It's a Virgo control thing and a parasite thing together. So I'm just, that had to happen. Anyway, they called me Paranormal Sarah. I didn't call myself that. So anyway,
gotcha.
We should get moving.
I have no desire in the whole alien thing. That's not my aliens aren't my cup of tea anyway. But yeah, I would not want to be on like any mothership. Although I joke, I don't think Macy's on here now, but I joke with my kids when they say those things, and I go, "Oh, honey, you're gonna." I say it with much more flamboyant, but I'm like, "Oh, honey, you're gonna need a bigger probe than that."
Oh, and don't half-ass it. Use your whole ass, honey.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, yeah. And look at that. D says Sprinkle was our field investigator. It was a small world. Oh my gosh. He So my mentor in college in Columbia was a man by the name of Dave Alexander. And Dave Alexander went to college with Dr. Leo Sprinkle. And so when I was in college saying I wanted to do weird things and I was out doing parapsychological research in, Europe, he hooked me up with his like, hey, I had a research buddy in college you'd really like. And that was Leo Sprinkle. And I remember he would go swimming every morning, and I would call him after he would go swimming, and I would kind of recommend research, and he recommended me to different people, and he was fantastic. Anyway, it is a small world, and aliens are real. And keep your eye out on the sky, people, because weird things are happening. And tonight is the last quarter moon in Scorpio. Mercury is retrograde, and a lot of the planets, I'm going to have to do better at getting that visual representation with some of the spheres that I have going out and being mailed to people that joined me. Got some really cool, having them like move around on a grid, being able to see them visually on a chart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Having like a little planetary solar, like you would get the little science kits, at Hobby Lobby. Yeah. That I can move them through the constellations and kind of see, because right now you'd see a whole bunch of clustered energies in Capricorn. It's Capricorn season. And so there's a lot of things in Capricorn, and that plays plays a big role. And then some of those planets that are retrograde plays a big role. And so let's get to it.
Yep.
Tomorrow, that's going to be Wednesday, guys, in case you're wondering, in case you're really lost like me. Wednesday is tomorrow, January 26th, 2022, 10262022. It's a lot of even numbers. Blah, blah. But anyway, the moon will be in Scorpio. And that's going to be trine. Neptune in Pisces.
Sarah's favorite.
Ugh. That's overdoses, suicides, crazy social justice warrior, social service crisis calls. Tomorrow. And that's just a Wednesday.
To Pepper's point, yes, Sun is in Aquarius, but there's a lot of stuff in Capricorn right now.
It's of Capricorn, man.
Always more than the Sun.
Anyway, when you think of moon in Scorpio, not just the Neptune in Pisces,
Yeah.
but trine. What does that mean?
Well, Scorpio, I always describe Scorpio as intense, but it's almost like a quiet intensity. Like you don't know. Again, it's like poker face. You don't actually know what's good. I think I used the example last week of like a river. Yeah. So you see what the surface of the river is, but you have no idea what the currents under the river are going to be. And that's kind of like what Scorpio is. There can be like really strong currents, really strong emotions, but you're not necessarily going to see it. And so the moon's your internal kind of emotional space anyway. So this is like emotional intensity. Trine is synergy. I can see why you kind of rolled your eyes on this one, because Neptune is delusion, dreams, foggy. What you see might not be what's reality, and it's in its home sign of Pisces. So kind of that, there's almost like this sacrificial energy to it, artsy. So I see this as that emotional intensity, like linking up with maybe delusional thinking or not seeing things clearly. And then how can that play out? That can play out in people making like bad decisions, just whether it's just, emotions not being expressed in very good ways, or, the way people, and some people have, not some people, I mean, I guess everybody deals with it to some degree. We have some less than constructive coping mechanisms with emotional intensity.
Mm-hmm.
That's all this is kind of misplayed emotion. So I guess my advice to people for tomorrow is give other people grace. That emotional intensity and misreading things could cause people to act in ways that maybe are a little uncharacteristic, but I would say aren't necessarily representative of what those people are. So give some people slack. Don't trash relationships tomorrow based on some people's behaviors. Just keep that in mind, that people might be very emotional tomorrow and acting in ways that are miscalculated.
Dream.
So on a macro scale, I can see very bad decisions being made tomorrow. Hashtag Russia, Ukraine. Yeah. So this is like a day where the chances of miscalculating and making some big mistake are very high. Shine doesn't mind my I hate wearing glasses, but my contacts have been giving me headaches. So yeah, you got the glasses look.
And this is kind of a crazy. There was the quantum parapsychology realm, the quantum multiverse, cyber metaverse. What is real? What is real? Neo. You said grace and miscalculations. That scene where he's like, put me back in. I don't care. Just so that I can have steak for dinner. And you just would never know. Just make sure I don't remember a thing.
I wouldn't make big decisions tomorrow. Your chances of, whenever you get the Neptune Pisces thing acting, I feel
Let it go.
The ability to making a misjudgment or miscalculation is like really, really high. So if you can delay a big decision to Thursday or even later, obviously that's the one thing about, we talk about these things and these aspects when they actually like hit, but there's like lingering in front and behind it as well. So, so I would delay big decisions.
Well, and we put that micro and macro, thinking, how is this affecting me? How is this affecting us, the we. Political debates, tensions, political tensions, let responsibility go, thinking about delay, thinking about expecting the unexpected, dreams, creation, overboard, delusion, fantasy. If you're working with people, if you're working, in nursing, this is people spitting, screaming, crying. And so when people are doing that, there's a lot of water. Cut to alchemy, Neptune and Pisces, water, moon and Scorpio, feminine, water, menstruating, blood, water, semen, crying, spitting. When you're trying to scream something underwater, it's very difficult, in the middle of chaos to be screaming something emotional. It's like listening to a phone operator and how often people are like, why is that phone operator dispatcher being such a bitch? And it's like, she's or he, they're trained to be calm. They're trained to not be emotional. And so when you're monotone, tell me who's there. Please calm down. Stop screaming. Tell me where you're at. Give me an address. Can you find a piece of mail? Like, it's not that you don't want to direct that person to giving CPR, but you're trying to get help. You're trying to delegate. Think about this energy tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of emotion. So if you can just ground yourself, however that is,
Mm-hmm.
calm, calm,
Yep.
calm. All the unaffected organic creatures that menstruate according to the lunar cycle would be menstruating starting tomorrow as it gets into the next phase of the moon cycle. So it's something to think about too when you're looking at the way nature moves, the way tides move, the way tsunamis and the ring of fire go, the way Mother Nature moves. It's in a pattern. So that's kind of how we're in those predictive spaces. Tomorrow's going to be humans making emotional moves.
Which I'll add to on the macro. I wouldn't be surprised if there. I mean, this probably happens all the time anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some like high profile like freak out tomorrow. Like, doesn't have to be like a celebrity or anything, but there's just somebody going
Britney
nuts,
Spears
like
shaving her head moment.
somebody going nuts, like smashing windows at a Walmart or something. Yeah, there'll be something like that. That'll be like on TMZ and all over the place, and it's just people are gonna handle it in bad ways.
Yeah, entertainment, TMZ, and that's just a Wednesday. So get ready. That's positive thinking. Okay. Then it's Thursday, my favorite day. Thursday, Jupiter, Thor's Day, the day of creation, January 27th. I love 27. And the moon moves into fire, into Sagittarius. Thank goodness. Adding a little bit of fire. What does that mean when things are already water? If you got a lot of water in your pot, you put it on a fire, you move it over. What do you think happening? What do you see happening, Matt? Moon.
Well, this is Sagittarius is like the explorer, so it's that experimental exploration energy. It's also kind of just the little bit of wild. I was thinking again, say like at the party thing, the Sag is the one that's gonna like let's dive out the second story window into the pool or something, or bungee jump or any of that kind of thing. It's taking risks, it's exploring, it's sure, why not? I'll do it, I'll try it. And it can be anything. You can be like, sure, I'll try the cocaine, or sure, I'll jump out the window, or so you're going from that emotional intensity into emotional exploration.
Mm-hmm.
So take mental note kind of where you're at Wednesday, because that emotional shift is going to go from that maybe intensity and kind of still waters run deep to, okay, let's do something with this. And so what are you going to channel that energy into? Which makes me curious for folks that maybe are just watching this first time. I always do these blind. I don't know what's coming up. So it makes me wonder what things are going to follow, because this is setting up based on what we're going to hear aspects going in the next couple of days of what you're going to get pushes to do. But you'll get a push on Thursday to start acting on some of these emotions.
And then that idea of how can we see, how can we predict, how do we already step back, we step forward, we do a hokey pokey, and we turn ourselves about, and we look at the statistics, we look at the alchemy, we look at the dominoes being set up by Mother Nature, by society, by these patterns of behavior, both macro and micro. And then we see that Friday, what happens on Friday?
Oh, so that's the only thing on Thursday?
That's the only thing. It's actually pretty small. These are big movements, but ticking like a clock. Not a whole lot shifting, just small little inches.
Yeah,
Because
so macro, I don't think Thursday, there'll be much Thursday. Maybe a little bit of additional fallout from what happens on Wednesday, but I think Thursday will be kind of quiet on the
pretty calm.
grand scale, yeah.
Friday, January 28th. So keep in mind, it's a Friday. It's the last Friday of January. People are freaking out. Tax time,
I'm always thinking of
IRS.
I know there isn't a lot of bar and club stuff going on now, but I always think of bars and clubs.
There is now. After today's news, things are going to be opening all over with no mandates nationwide if they want, which is going to get weird because it's going to state fed, and this weird Friday.
Time out. I got to do a shameless plug here. The 2022 predictions for the year.
We did this.
I said that it was all going to be defined after January by state fed. It's going to get worse. Spring to summer is going to be the big theme of state fed because I think Roe v. Wade gets overturned in April, but that'll really blow the whole state
the body
versus
autonomy
fed.
and my choice.
That's going to blow that all up to crap, but it's going to start. It's starting already with this.
It's starting already.
State versus fed battle is going to be the theme of 2022. All right.
Here we are, Friday. 2/28. No, not 2. 1/28/2022. Still January 28th, last Friday of the month. People prepping. This is kind of a financial space. People grabbing onto the receipts, okay? This is kind of that money, finance expense, quarter, reporting. We're still Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto's far out there. Awesome. Big Capricorn push on a Friday.
The troll in me loves this one because Capricorn's those big, impersonal, profound changes, does not care, and conjunct is combining. So you're taking it almost, you take like my old college mascot until they changed it was the centaur. So, I got man and a horse combined. That's kind of like conjunct. You're combining the two things. So you're combining Mercury communication energy with these huge, profound, impersonal changes. Throw in the fact that Mercury's retrograde, so the communication is going to be misread and incorrect. So this is one of I always like to label bad decisions. So this is bad decision Friday now, that there's going to be huge changes, big, profound things done based on incorrect information or miscommunications. So just big, profound stuff done on bad information. Hashtag Ukraine, Russia.
So never have I ever, and knowing, I can't even, knowing some of those projects that are out there and those operations that are out there, purposefully to be something that are entertainment purpose only, money only, not news. Things like Twitter or TikTok that you're like, this is questionable, but at the same time the censorship is a little bit more tight-lipped, and so you have to kind of wonder or know the source. And there's all sorts of interesting, weird little things happening out in those little social media universes that, as I see this Mercury retrograde, wondering what is real, what that's not this, but that was that, but that's not this, but that's what? Huh? Pluto and Capricorn, that whatever it is that people are hearing from the game of telephone and taking to be fact and truth and concrete, and that is the law. Thinking these things don't change.
I have a meme. I'm going to bastardize a meme here to give a good example. So this is like, you get the offer that you'll never have to work another day for your life. You'll be guaranteed three good meals, a roof over your head, and sex every day. And you take the deal, and then you end up in prison for the rest of your life. It's like that thing. Like,
oh no,
a big life-changing decision based on bad info. And then you're like, oh shit, that's kind of the energy for Friday.
Twilight Zone. This is going to date me a little bit. The Twilight Zone button episode to be a millionaire. He goes door to door with the suitcase, pops it open, and says, "If are you willing to be a millionaire? All you have to do is press this button, and someone random, someone you don't know, dies." And the person, makes a decision whether or not they're going to press the button to receive the money, and it's always the person before them. The Twilight Zone episode. It was really horrible. This is what I see. Read the small, fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Read it again.
I almost stay away again from big. I said bad decision Wednesday. This is another bad decision. Stay away from making big decisions on Friday. And try to stay out of that. And I mean, again, Pluto's big, impersonal. This is like, your company's moving to the other side of the country and you don't really have a choice.
We don't care.
You either go or you don't. And sorry, this sucks, but we're all moving. So, but I mean, to the best you can, maybe try to stay out of that current because
we don't
these
care.
big, profound changes are going to be based on bad info. Which again, think about Wednesday. I mean, this is all sizing up. They all kind of feed off each other. So we could be compounding bad decisions from Wednesday on Friday.
We sure are. We sure are. We are. Making bad decisions.
Somebody said in there, and I don't know if they're being sarcastic or not, that I always look on the bright side, and I feel like I'm being really pessimistic today. So
never being honest.
This is like, yeah, I'm trying to do this to help y'all. Like it's not to be gloom and doom. It's so that you hopefully aren't one of the ones making
preparation.
So you're not one of the ones making the bad decision.
Yeah. Conjunction function. What's your function? Ifs, ands, or buts goes between a sentence and it brings your sentence together. That's School of Rock. Man. Anyway, moving on. Saturday, some shit goes down. 2 things. Are you ready?
Yep.
I know I am. Damn. Double damn.
Hello, Sherry.
Oh, apparently that rubs off. That's okay. My very sentimental cup is fading. It's probably a Back to the Future thing. It's probably something I did. It's the multiverse. Jesus. Anyway.
It's that alien outside your window.
Saturday, January 29th, 2022. That's this Saturday. What's your plan? Got any plans? It's the last Saturday.
I haven't done these in a while because I kind of sort of kind of downgrading our involvement in this, but I have 2 very, very interesting home paranormal investigations, and I'll be doing one of them Saturday. If we don't get it, there's a chance, not my home, but somebody else's private home. I can do stuff in my home. My home's active as all get out. Sunday Night Dead, we do live ones from here. But we also are potentially in the path of a major, major, major snowstorm.
That's right.
Like, could be feet, but then they start saying that model was a huge exaggeration model, so wait and see. But so we're kind of in this, could be an inch, could be a foot. We live in the part of the country where we deal with snow by sitting around and waiting for it to melt. So when it does come here, that's the one thing I gotta say for my friends up north where I used to be from, we don't have plows like doing roads and stuff. It just sits.
Yeah, that is the thing. My Kansas City people are always like, "Are you surviving?" And it's like, man, we've got Darth Blader. That's our truck. We all get to name our trucks, and you get to watch them online and see how many mailboxes and stuff they take out. And hopefully your county, is the better one at the end of the year, and you get less points. It's the opposite of GTA. You don't want to take out mailboxes because then that costs you money. You cost your team money. So anyway, Darth Blader does a real good job, and people get out in it. I mean, as long as your car starts, which is people get out in it. The kids, the other day, I had a moment. My children, I have those. We were in the car. I took them to the end of the driveway to wait for the bus because it was too cold. Your face could literally freeze off if you're like standing out in it for longer than 10 minutes, which it would be to walk at our driveway. And they were like, "Dang, it's too cold. We're not going to have a recess today." And I was like, "Well, of course not." They're like, "Well, we had recess last week." And I was like, "No, you better not have had recess outside." They're like, "As long as it's 8 degrees. And I was like, what? That's their measurement on the wall. If it's 8 degrees, then they can go outside for recess. That's not how it was in Missouri, where I grew up. It had to be like 35. I mean, definitely not below freezing. Just seems unsafe. I don't know. Anyway, that's a tangent. That's a
Even
bus
when, well,
tangent.
even where I was from, farther up north, not as up north as where you are, we wouldn't have school if it was below zero. But the reason why, and it's different now, the reason why is everybody walked to school back then, even like kindergartners. And so the idea was we don't want little 5-year-old Johnny, getting lost and freezing to death. And so,
Yeah.
and that happened like maybe like 2 days every like 5 years, it would get that cold. So like it never got below zero.
People in the chat room said it sounds like eugenics. Sounds like population control to me. Man, it is. And people choose to do these things. Like, man, I can't imagine getting up. Yeah. Anyway, HARP, so be it. Whatever is happening this weekend, micro and macro, we're looking at it. A county is a smaller part of a state. States are broken down into smaller patches of land, into counties, and they can span cities. But counties are another way to collect money from the
I wonder, I'm only
taxpayers.
basing this on his symbol, but I'm wondering if it's like what a parish would be in Louisiana. I don't know if they have counties in Louisiana. They might be parishes. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not from there. I saw he got the Saints logo. Who asked that? So I was just wondering if maybe he's from Louisiana.
Now I'm curious. I thought every state had counties.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But that'll be after
Oh,
the show.
yep, after the show. Virgo moment. Okay, Saturday, January 29th. 2 things happen. First one, Venus, V for vagina, Venus goes direct in Capricorn. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo. First thing. So what do you think when you hear Venus going direct in Capricorn Saturday morning?
So it's still in Capricorn, so this is still all achievement, kind of impersonal. I think I gave the warning when it went into Capricorn that you just want to be aware that you don't end up on the romantic phase being somebody's accomplishment, that there is a little level of, checking off boxes and accomplishment success in this area. But whereas it's retrograde means, again, kind of romance, or, Venus can also be business type things going awry, misreading things. You go to pronounce your love for someone at the same time you're going to get like the talk, or I want to be your buddy kind of thing. Now it gets direct, so at least kind of that whole romantic vibes are now actually like in sync, so there's less chance to misread things. So unlike earlier this week where everything was like misreading bad decisions, there could be romantic clarity early on Saturday. That's what I'll call it, romantic clarity. That's the energy for the first part. I don't know what's coming next, but
well, romantic clarity, and I like kind of seeing this later in Saturday. The moon moves and enters into Capricorn with Venus direct into Capricorn. So then you now have the moon entering Capricorn Saturday evening.
So I guess there's going to be a conjunct somewhere in here, but it's not yet. But having your emotions, so this is emotions syncing in the same kind of energy as romantic energy. So this is good. This is your emotions aligning with kind of romantic type stuff. This is not a whole lot of conflict. Everything should be kind of smooth in that whole Capricorn, the goat climbing a mountain, gets to the top of the mountain, sees another mountain, wants to keep climbing. So it's just, this is achievement oriented. This is romantic progress, good romantic synergy, and good romantic kind of tailwinds to progress in that space. So if that is something that you are inclined, or something that's high on your radar of romance, this could be a good Saturday for you.
A good Saturday for growth, finance. I think of that sensuality. So all of your senses. And think of all 6, right? What we see, what we smell. Hopefully you don't have COVID issues like me, where you're still struggling with taste. Burn an orange and eat it, and there's other things you can do as well. Trying to be patient, but things do taste a little different. but taste, touch, what you think, what you feel about something, and beauty, art. Like, I find that attractive. It's interesting in my Monday through Friday 9 to 5, uh, in particular, we are discussing the difference between attraction and arousal, and then fantasy and reality. Especially when you talk about like cyber psychology or the use of pornography or the objectification of things that you find to be attractive versus arousing, and knowing the difference, knowing your limits. These are all things that I see shifting for micro and macro. What people allow in their space for what's money, growth, beauty, defining love for self and others. Macro. What does that mean for the world? What does that mean for America? What does that mean for your state or your family or your system? What do you think when you see all of these vibes kind of moving into Capricorn?
So I think more on the business financial end then with Venus when you're talking on the macro scale. So it's weird that it's on a
Money,
Saturday. So
crypto.
maybe, the markets will be closed, but maybe there'll be some big development that will be a big financial boom. So,
Mhm,
I'm thinking again, don't take me for financial advice, but again, thinking of bad decisions, I probably wouldn't like dump all my accounts on Friday because what might look really bad on Friday reverses on Saturday. And so, yeah. So on a macro scale, I'm thinking some kind of positive financial news comes up on Saturday.
It is. It's growth. It's push. It's it's kind of one of those. Um, Field guy said, if I couldn't taste, I would eat all the yucky healthy food. That's kind of been the thing. And what I love is, of course, I've got some clients of mine who have all sorts of different conspiracy theories and things about like, or that what if we are like in the Matrix going into the safe mode kind of a thing, and that everything tastes like chicken, everything tastes like slop because we're resetting ourselves. It could be. There's all sorts
I'm
of
a tech. I'm a tech. Most of the healthy things have horrible texture though, and I'm more of a texture than taste with this.
textures.
And so I still, even if I couldn't taste it, I couldn't get over the texture.
I'm a texture person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I eat a lot of like vinegars or olive oil and like stuffed olives, and like I eat a Greek diet. I like the Greek foods. And so I'm finding that to be kind of strange. Like even mint, like it's not as vibrant, which kind of stinks, but it could just be because I have all the snot. So much snot, Nora. Thank you and welcome for joining us. If this
That's a
is your
great.
first
That's
time,
a great greetings for poor Nora there.
snot. Welcome to Astrology and Alchemy. We are already down to the 20 minutes of the show, and we are in on Sunday, the week ahead, and what to expect, how to use that energy for predictive uses. And Sunday, one thing happens. It's going to be January 30th. It's going to be almost the very end of the month. Sunday, what are you doing? What are your plans? You got any? Because the sun will be in Aquarius. I always hear that song. Squaring off with Uranus and Taurus. Now, Uranus and Taurus, the last time this happened was a little fickle movement.
This is a weird one.
This is weird. What's going to happen on a Sunday?
So 3 out of 4 of these are not 3 out of 4. This is weird because Uranus rules Aquarius. So you got kind of this weird, but square is conflict. So square is always like it's in your face, and you have to deal with it. So this is Sun, your outward self in Aquarius, which is kind of innovative, rebellious, change oriented, opposed by Uranus, which is innovative, that weird curveball out of left field, but also stable and indulgent because that's Taurus, the big bull on the hill. Just going to sit there and relax, and you're not going to move me. I'm going to do what I want. So I'm going to sum this one up by I want to change the world, but I'm going to go ahead and do it tomorrow. That whatever your innovative, rebellious, out of the box initiative is in that sun space is going to be opposed by yeah, I'm motivated by this, but I also want to just kind of indulge and relax. And so there's going to be kind of a chill on the couch. I always say that with the Uranus and Taurus, but this kind of chill on the couch energy on Sunday. So you'll have motivations, but you're not going to act on it. Maybe Monday. Procrastination energy.
This is really weird. But the vibe that I get when you're describing this is I get Orange County references for Jack Black and this character that he tends to play often, where it's this kind of drugged out, even in School of Rock in the beginning part, like he's a bum, you know, he's not meeting the expectations of society because he's a musician. He doesn't make any money, and yet he's very innovative. He's emotional, he's passionate, he's rebellious, he's unexpected, fucking wild haired, cannot plan for Jack Black, the pick of destiny. And I think of like Tenacious D. I think of Uranus and Taurus and how it's, you know, I want to change the world. It's good intentions, but I'll do it tomorrow, you know.
There's going to be a lot of great ideas hatched on Sunday that never come to fruition because they're going to chill out and just say they're going to do it tomorrow, and then it just doesn't for whatever reason. They just never get around to it.
Ooh, and that's kind of good neurolinguistic programming, I think, hatching versus fruition.
So if you have a great idea on Sunday, write it down and don't forget it, because I think some great insights and things may just kind of wither away because they're not acted on.
Energy that is unexpected. I wonder how people
We've all had these days where it's like a weekend and you get this, like, you're going to do this grand project, and then you end up just like watching Netflix or something and go, yeah, okay, well, I have it on my list, but it's just not going to happen today. It's rainy out, it's cold, or whatever, whatever the reason is. That's kind of the energy for Sunday.
It's going to be Sunday.
But it's a really good idea. So, like, don't lose.
It will be a great idea.
Yeah.
Good intentions. Macro, I think about how does this play into the world? How are we going to see this in the news? What are these predictions that we see that it's going to be affecting the we? I think it's going to be like Elon or, some major innovator in our space. It's like declaring something great or these discussions of something really good, headlines that would seem really great, the Watts telescope, but we don't really know what that headline means or what the truth of it is. And we'll follow up with it tomorrow and see if that's really something to get excited about. But it is exciting. I kind of feel like it's going to be something like that. Because in Orange County, again, my spirit guide's kind of giving me this reference. That was like this person who was going to go to college. Like it's the end of high school. They're the student class president, and their stupid guidance counselor sends the wrong transcript. And it's like, this is my life. Oh, and what's his face? The Ghostbuster. He was the dean. He's dead now. But he was in that movie and was really funny and ended up taking what he thought was Advil, but it was ecstasy. And it was a really funny scene where Jack Black burns down the administration building. And it's really funny. And again, good intentions. He went in there to get the list and to make sure his brother was on the list. And then they, get high in the back and, she's like, don't do that. Put that out. And he's like, yeah, I used to love fire. And then they do that. And then it's funny. Anyway, if you've not seen that movie, you should. It's good. And Jack Black, if you don't know who that is, who are you? That's Sunday's vibe. Quote me. Quote us. Nothing crazy is going to happen.
I predict there's going to be some big idea or some big, and it's just going to just die on the vine. It's going to sound great, but it's just going to go nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be exactly, but let's put it in our journals, guys. Let's conjure it up. It'll come to us. And a lot of times people will continue to chat on the Facebook and on all the links that we have on our social media and share your thoughts as they come to you guys. Maybe you have a dream when Neptune goes into Pluto and you're given a vision is hatched. Anyway, we have two things that are going to happen the next day. Monday. It's going to be Monday. January 31st, the last day of the month. Man, people are frantically getting their taxes together. Hopefully, maybe they're trying to figure it out. We don't know. It's going to be Monday. The first thing that happens is the moon in Aquarius, a ripple, squares off with Uranus and Taurus.
All right, so this is kind of the same. This is weird. So this is the exact same thing, but now this is emotional energy being opposed by stable and indulgent. So I see this as internally, emotionally, there's something you really want to change. There's something you really want to do. There's something you really, but once again, it's just too emotional. There's just too much. I'm just not going to deal with it right now. I'm going to sit and binge and watch Netflix.
What are people going to do? What is it going to be about? That moon in Aquarius squaring off with Uranus and Taurus. This is going to be a Monday, rippling off from the hatching and the fruition and the creation that we felt a little earlier.
You procrastinate for your second day in a row. Now it's got even a greater chance of not coming to fruition.
What are you procrastinating? What is it that we aren't as a we? I think of this in a macro way, in a prediction for like the news headlines when I'm thinking of Monday morning. What is it that was happening on Sunday that is also going to not happen on Monday?
So I'm going to go ahead and on the macro say all the misreading and bad decision things in the earlier part of the week, combined by then that financial whatever happens Saturday that all of a sudden looks really, really good, is going to create so much uncertainty that people are just going to like, whoa, I'm not doing anything. I might have these great ideas, but things are way too chaotic right now, so I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to chill and watch and wait. And so, if you make a whole bunch of bad decisions, you're going to stop making decisions for a while until you start seeing things calm down. And so that might be, I think there's going to be a flurry of just misreading and chaotic. The rest of this week, I think, is going to be kind of chaotic. And then it'll kind of stabilize. There'll actually be some good news on Saturday. And then you get into Sunday and Monday, and nobody wants to do anything because too much chaos. Could also be nobody's doing anything because this snowstorm turns out to be a major one and the whole East Coast is paralyzed.
Right.
That could be, I have a really great idea, but I have 4 feet of snow out my door and I can't do anything. So I'm going to watch Netflix.
Right. Which
So
I really do
I'm
think
going
is
to
a
add that to it.
possibility.
This is going to turn into a major, major storm. That'll be one of my predictions.
There it was.
East Coast paralyzed Sunday into Monday by snow.
Don't say that. I hate that sadness. But sure, that could possibly absolutely happen. Why not? Knowing as I see already what Tuesday is going to be, go fig, go fig. But one more thing happens on Monday. The moon moves, a lot of moon movement this week, guys, which means internal, the menstrual cycles, the sperm cycles, the
Emotional.
water in our body that we can't see, water in the air, water, inner feelings. The moon enters Aquarius on Monday night with the sun.
But wasn't it an Aquarius on? It was an Aquarius on Monday with the Taurus, right?
It was.
Okay.
So it's just that it's the moon in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus, and then later that evening, it moves more directly, enters direct like into that space. It says that the month ends with the main energy being the moon in Aquarius Monday night.
Okay. So yeah, that's still this kind of innovative, out of the box, maybe rebellious, emotional. I always use kind of Aquarius as kind of like a change agent. So this is like emotional, particularly when the moon's in Aquarius. I view this as kind of like an emotional impetus to make some type of change, do something different. So yeah, maybe that just gets reinforced later in the day on Monday. You're going to go ahead and give it a good shot on Tuesday. So we've been stuck on Sunday. We've been stuck on Monday. Let's go ahead and do this on Tuesday. Now I can't wait to see what happens on Tuesday.
Well, it's the tipping Tuesday, February 1st. It opens with the new moon, which is why that's significant. In Aquarius, February 1st, the morning of. The new moon in Aquarius will be conjunct Saturn and Aquarius, the very first for Tuesday morning. And that's really the only thing happening on that Tuesday. But anytime that you have a full moon or a new moon, right? If you're a crazy pagan Wiccan witch or someone or a farmer, um, I always see this as a water movement and as an organic creatures of the wild being in a part of a spectrum that's very easy to see because it's juxtaposed, right? It's one extreme or the other. New moon in Aquarius conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. What do you think when you
Well, I always
see
look at the new moon as kind of like the theme for the lunar cycle. So again, this is Aquarius, so I view it as like change agent. So I view this as look at what you want to change. And again, it's the beginning of the year. It's not resolution time. We're already in it, but I mean, it's still kind of like we're kicking off the year. What do you want to do differently? What do you want to change this year? And then Saturn is another. We have a whole lot of planets in weird, like, Uranus and Taurus is a weird combo. Saturn and Aquarius is a weird combo because Saturn is rules, restrictions, kind of view it. It's like the dad saying you need to be in by, be home by 9, that kind of thing. So you have the rings, restrictions, but you have this whole Aquarius out of the box, innovative. So it's a weird, not real comfortable energy as well. And you're combining these. So you have your emotional energy in this innovative space combined with what I view as, when I say Saturn in Aquarius, I view this as energy to change rules. So we're going to be outside the box. So how do we make the box bigger? How do we change the walls of the box? How do we move things around? So that combination is, again, this emotional thing to change combined with how can I change rules. So this is a lot of energy for changing things, changing the rules, changing your reality, changing your dynamic. You have a lot of, if there's something you want to make a change on, and think about this, when you're stuck,
house, finance?
Sunday and Monday, give a lot of thought on this, because all of a sudden, whatever has you stuck, if it's that 3 feet of snow, the clouds are going to come through and everything's going to be wide open on Tuesday, and you can actually go ahead and do it.
I like that. I like that February 1st opens with such kind of a good opportunity for success, open avenues, newness, for all the things that people have been wanting to come to fruition. It ends, you guys, for those of you thinking this was a pessimistic, we got you. It ends on a very powerful, kind of productive day for a Tuesday. This time next week, that Mercury retrograde is going to be slowly coming to somewhat of an end, not really, but we're going to be feeling like things are possible. We can do this, not as exhausted. There's going to be pushes and momentums to get out of bed a little bit easier. So if you have felt like quitting, I don't know if it's just time to do that yet. There's some new opportunity on the horizon, and that horizon is going to be as late as next Tuesday. You're going to be feeling and dreaming and thinking up some of the stuff starting Thursday of this week, and you're going to be feeling a lot of it, thinking a lot of it more clear, seeing it for sure on the weekend, just not doing anything about it.
Good analogy I'd give for Sunday and the whole week. So you're driving, you're doing a long drive on the interstate, and the bad decision part is you go ahead to get into a lane thinking you're going to be able to pass and move faster. Now you're actually ended up stuck. And so you made your bad decision, and now you're getting into Sunday and Monday and you're stuck, and up in front of you are 2 cars. And I always hate when they do this. Like the one in the passing must be in cruise control. And so it's going maybe a mile out faster, taking forever to go, and you're stuck. And you're getting frustrated because you can't go anywhere. There's like cars everywhere and you're stuck. And then Tuesday is the equivalent of a 3rd lane opening up. And all of a sudden you can get over it. You can just blow by everybody. So some bad decisions, a lot of chaos in the beginning, and then you're going to be stuck. So you have time to think.
I hate.
And then at the very end of the week, it's going to open up and you're going to be able to move and do whatever you want to do.
I love it. I love it. I think it's going to be, as long as people don't feel too impulsive or too stuck or get depressed in those times where there's a lull, use that as a rest. I usually try and refer that to my clients if they're open to use astrology. You're going to continue to feel a little exhausted and drained. Some of these solar flares, if you buy into any of that stuff, some of our tsunamis and things that we're going to be feeling rippled off of that's a lot of energy. And the stop and go and the I think of Office Space and some of the scenes in that movie when they're in the and you get over and then that's the one that's and that's how it works. But
Mhm.
as all things in life, the opportunity will find you if you just kind of stay focused on it. So keep your eye on the prize, nose to the grindstone, stay focused. Don't get over emotional like people are going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, I expect probably the worst of the emotions. If you've got crazy people in your life, drama, big llama dramas, mute tomorrow.
Yeah, Wednesday's going to be emotional water bad decisions, and then Friday is going to be like big impersonal decisions that are going to affect you, and they're going to be wrong. But it's going to be
Mm,
just kind of like this. It's not going to be emotional. It's going to be, sorry, this is just the way it has to be. And then
Orange County.
like a week later, it'll be, or a month later, or a year later, I'll be like, when we made that decision, that was really a wrong decision.
Oh,
But
that was fucked up,
it's
man.
gonna be too late. It's Pluto because it's gonna be too late to do anything about it. But just know, take consolation that if there's that big decision that comes on Friday you don't like, might be a little consolation, but at least take consolation that it's probably not the right decision that was made.
Right. And I like Dolly and some of us in the chat room saying, you know what? If this is a prediction for some crazy weather for those of us in the pathway of these storms, absolutely plan to get out, utilize this as best you can to prepare. If you're in the path of a storm or something like that, take a gander because I think it is going to be a little bit more than the weatherman having fun. I think it probably will be likely something, especially, I mean, even if we do want to play the conspiracy theory game, when you have federal mandates lifting and people in chaos and people being, "Rah!" Man, if I was going to control a population with some big distraction, it might be some big storm, maybe. I don't know. If there is HARP, now would be the time to crank that puppy up. If it is.
I just think
So,
I remember
right, Matt?
in the mid 90s, there was one we got where it was like, and that's what this storm kind of reminds me. I hope I'm wrong because I hate snow, but that one was like something's coming, and then like Thursday it was like 1 to 3 inches, and all of a sudden like Friday afternoon it was like 3 feet coming tomorrow morning, and it totally screwed up the whole area. It's still, I think, there's this thing I saw on like Weather Channel, like they rank all the storms, and I guess it is like the worst one on the. It has like the highest score. They like rate them like hurricanes. It had like the highest score of like the whole like Northeast. It was January '96. Was yeah, and that was like they weren't even talking about it on Thursday, and then all of a sudden Friday it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this like really horrible storm, and then bam, it was there, and everything was screwed up.
Okay, so
I
we're
kind
kind
of
of
get
maybe
that
getting the
vibe. I
vibes
hope
that,
I'm wrong, but
oh,
I kind of have. I've had that vibe all week that's what this one's going to be
you
like.
just jinxed it too. I just totally, okay. Hopefully that's not the case, but if it is, you guys will be stuck inside together. Matt and I both doing reading specials. You can get a reading with us together. You can do birth chart readings, or if you want to do an astrological reading, if you want to do a tarot reading, you guys be sure and check out.
Valentine's Day, we can do synastry couples. We
Oh,
want to see compatibility.
That's going to be so much fun. And
Okay.
it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. If you guys want to do that now, let us know. So, Matt told me the other day we were talking about tarot, and he had suggested that I try out the churchyard spread. If you guys haven't done that or aren't familiar with that, having a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
So,
I got to do
uh,
a video on that, like explaining that one. I'm going to do a
yeah.
video on that one, explaining that one.
And I'm trying to find the history behind it to see like the culture and ethnicity of where that comes from because it's totally got to be zodiac related. It's like Gestalt psychology. I love it. So yeah, you guys, if you're interested in learning more about that kind of thing, be sure and check out all of our social media wherever you're joining us. If you're watching from YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or the Paranormal channel, just be sure and direct message us there. Check it out, mslosier@yahoo.com, paranormalsarah.com. We'll be able to get you put in the right direction for whatever kind of reading you'd like, and gift certificates if you maybe know somebody who'd like a cool special Valentine's or just a gift for yourself because you're snowed in. Uh, we'd be glad to help you out. So just
Yep,
let us know. And
absolutely.
what else am I forgetting?
I think that's it. But yeah,
Right.
any of the media, just leave us a message. We'd be interested in that. And I guess I'll put a little plug. I still don't know what I'm doing for Sunday Night Dead this
Ooh,
week because it depends on the weather. I do want to do this like Phasma box. I want to do it in a hospital parking lot and in a Walmart parking lot and see how the spirit
Difference?
communication differs. But I'm not going to do that if there's like 3 feet of snow outside.
Well, and do you ever think about getting near an airport where it's supposed to be that like radio and things are different? Like you're not supposed to be
That'd
able to
be a
get
good one.
what? We just got a glitch.
We
10
got a
o'clock.
that was a weird glitch.
That was an alien glitch. That radio signals.
No, I'm sorry.
What? What was it?
I saw, but this was probably my own brain and go. I saw
It was
like
green.
it was green and I saw like a face and that bugged me.
You saw a face.
I
Let's
saw
go
a
back and look
face.
at it. Okay, we got to
But
go back.
I might have just did pareidolia on it, which you're seeing patterns in. But yeah, it looked like a face, and so that gave me chills. I didn't like that.
Okay, Green Goblin. All right, guys. Be sure and join us here next Tuesday, every Tuesday, and then that's Matt's show on Sunday, Sunday Night Dead. Be sure and check that out too. And you guys, we do hope to see you. Tag a friend, share the show. That is the best gift you can give us for January. It's our goal to be able to reach as many people as possible and to be able to continue doing the show and collaborating with neat people like you. So that only happens when you share and like and encourage your friends to watch along with us. So we'll see you next week, Tuesday, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here, wherever you found us tonight, we'll be here next Tuesday, and we do hope you'll join us. And Field Guy, Nora, Dee, Dolly, all of you guys, new faces, old faces, we do hope to see you next week. You're the reason we do this, so thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time. I'm going to go UFO hunting, Matt.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. And my plan, so you guys know, I know we're talking on a little longer here, but and you guys could share this then too if you want. We're going to trim this down into 7 bite-size what for the day and put those out there so you can kind of recap and look at these again. So
what?
That's
so awesome.
I'm going to try to do that right now after this. So.
Oh my God. Okay, Matt, you're awesome. Thank you, Matt.
Right.
And absolutely, you guys share that stuff. Matt's doing the work. We got to share it. We got to share it. Sharing is caring. So until next Tuesday, we'll see you then.
All right. Take care.